Hey folks, Jack Spirko here, and the subject I'm going to talk about today is not a direct response to the question that came up. Again, I did a post on Miyagi last week, and I've been bumping it to the top of my feed so people can keep participating in it, so I can find the damn thing, because Miyagi doesn't have permalinks. And if you use a hashtag when you do that, and you bookmark the hashtag, it redirects to your main. It's just, come on, Miyagi, get your shit together. Anyway, Ariel of Feed North or Nith, or I don't know how you ever say her site, but I love what she does, said in one of her homesteading groups, a young man made a post, and maybe I can answer it. And if I answer it directly, I'm going to go full Jack, and not in a good way. Basically, this guy said, I'm living with my grandparents, problem one. They're not very financially successful or good with money. Oh, I got to pull back right there. I want to go full Jack, okay? And then he said, I want help with how to live with almost nothing and do that infinitely for survival needs. And anybody can help me, please help me. Well, the first thing I want to say is get a fucking job. Okay, and stop blaming your grandparents' failure with economics for your economic woes. Maybe you need to grow the hell up and figure out how to live on your own. And I could keep going, and you can see where it's going to go, can't you? And I bet a bunch of you, when you hear that, you feel that way too. But that's not what I want to talk about today. If you look at the title of the video, you'll see that what I want to talk about today is what it means when you listen to the proverb that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I basically responded with that to Ariel, and she said, it's not that I disagree. I'm just wondering, can we help people like this? There's lots of them, or are they beyond our help? In my view, as a teacher, that person is not ready for my help yet. They've not come far enough to where they're at a level where my teaching will be beneficial to them. Now, maybe hearing me say that might put them on the path to that. I don't know. It's up to Ariel whether she wants to share this with this individual or not. But there's a reason that cliche or that proverb or whatever you want to call it, that saying has truth to it. Good teachers recognize when students are not ready for their teaching, and therefore they don't try. I've been told by some good friends of mine that I'm a natural teacher at heart. Some of them say, I don't even know how you do it. And they say, I've seen you working with someone, and I would have walked away. And you're like, you hit them in the head with it, you hit them in the head with it, you hit them in the head with it, and you watch. And one of my friends in particular, who's fascinated by the dynamics of how human beings' minds work, says, and I'll see it sometimes, and all of a sudden, boom, I'll see their eyes light up, and I'm like, oh, it went in. And he's like, I guess you won, right? Guess he won, and he means me, right? I won as the teacher because I got the person to understand. And I said to him, David, no, I didn't win. They won. But the only reason I would take that time is that person was coming to me with the sincere heart of a student, attempting to understand something. It could be anything from how a bell siphon works to how a business principle works. When that person has, in the old Buddhist analogy, emptied their cup, so they don't think they already know everything except one thing, and then they're coming to you for that one thing, then you can help them. And that doesn't mean that the things that they've learned, the things they know, the things that are true in those realms are not useful to a student in their learning. If you go to a martial arts instructor, and let's say that and it doesn't matter the discipline, but let's just say that you took Taekwondo, and you actually advanced fairly, a red belt, one under black. And so you've done Taekwondo, you've learned Taekwondo, which I'm not a big fan of the art, so don't go bashing it to me or whatever. It's just an example. So you've done that. And then you go to someone that teaches like American-style karate, like the modern American karate that kind of was developed in the 70s. Or you go take Wing Chun, or you go take Tai Chi, or you just fill in the blank, switch them around. It doesn't matter, right? The knowledge you have of form, of balance, etc., is useful, and it will make you an accelerated student if you'll leave it behind when you go to that new sensei and say, teach me. You have to enter that individual's dojo like a white belt. Like you've never learned anything before, and you have to start from his basics, that sensei's basics. Now what's going to happen is you're going to really, if you do that, he's going to love you as a student because you're going to advance very, very quickly. And sometimes he may have to correct you and say, I know you already know this, but let's, right? And then in time, you'll take the two that you've learned, you'll combine them yourself, and you'll make them more, like Bruce Lee. Okay, that's not just about martial arts. That's about everything in life. But what is the first step? Emptying the cup. Emptying the cup. But what is the second step? Teacher says, student does. Okay? Now, this is why I can't help a person in the state this young man is in. I want you to help me be useless. I want you to help me live on my grandparents' land, blame them for my problems, not get a job, not have any income, and get by with almost nothing. When that is precisely what the person is already doing. The only threat to his existence he has right now is when his grandparents die. He can probably do exactly what he's asking for indefinitely, and what do I as a teacher want to do for him? Teachers do not keep you where you are if they're teachers. That's what rulers do. That's what rulers do. Rulers keep you where you are and teach you to be happy with it. Because rulers love caste systems of any kind. Caste, class, call it what you want. It's all the same shit. And you need poor. If you're a ruler, you need poor people, you need middle class, you need rich, you need all of it. And those divisions between the classes are leveraged and used by rulers. We call that the state today. Used to be the nobility, the kings. It doesn't matter. It's the same shit over and over again. And they need that. Teachers, by their very nature, are leaders. Leaders lead. And that means leaders go somewhere. And if a leader's leading, what happens when the leader moves forward? The people he's leading, or in the case of a teacher, an actual teacher, and just because you have the name teacher in your job title does not make you a fucking teacher, by the way. Okay? Really. If you're actually a teacher, you're a leader, and when you move, your students follow you. So I can't teach a person that wants to stay where they are. Can't do it. It's not possible. The teacher will appear when the student's ready, and the student will be ready when the student is ready to follow. Help me stay where I am and develop contentment in my own misery. Okay, no. That student is not worthy of a teacher at my level or 20 levels below it. Or 20 levels above it. And that's the thing. Like, so you have a person in a state of mind where someone that's as good as I am, and call me mediocre in the middle of 5 out of 10, can't help them. And a 10 out of 10 can't help them, and a 1 out of 10 can't help them. They're saying, help me. The cup is full of bullshit. Sometimes the cup is full of perceived knowledge, of arrogance, of things like that. Again, back to that Buddhist metaphor where the young man goes to the master and says, I want to learn. And the master hands the student a cup, and he begins pouring the water in the cup until the water overflows. The student says, what are you doing? What are you doing? He goes, you are like this cup. You are too full. Come back when you are empty and I can help you. Sometimes it's full of puffery. Sometimes it's full of false knowledge. Sometimes it's full of many things that are actually something. But sometimes it's full of apathy. Sometimes it's full of baggage. Sometimes it's full of the drug we call Icantium. And either way, if it's full, the teacher cannot put anything into your cup until you empty it. So until you stop making excuses for where you are in life, no one can lead you away from that point. And I say this for a couple reasons. One, for people in that state to understand it. Two, for everybody, because we all get in that state at least temporarily at times, even me. And three, for my fellow leaders and teachers. When you recognize this behavior, walk away. Because two things will happen. The person will stay where they are. And they were going to do that anyway if you tried. In fact, your attempt to meet them at that level would actually mire them and anchor them in it. Or when you walk away, they're going to say, wait a minute. And they're going to follow. Because the teacher that drives these people to a level where some teacher can appear, put out their hand and help them, and start to fill their cup with knowledge versus false beliefs or arrogance or puffery, is life. And that individual must be allowed to be kicked in the head by life. If you read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is Mostly fiction, by the way, just for anybody that feels the need to put that in the video or the comments here. I know that. But it teaches great truths. There's a point where young Robert from his rich dad says to him, "You were letting life push me around." And rich dad says, "Yes, I was." That's what you have to do as a teacher for people at that level. You have to let life kick them around till they're tired of it. And they come to you with the empty cup. At least half empty. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and taking it on this angle is the only way not to go full Jack Rant today. Please apply this in your teaching and in your activity of being a student, your activity of being a leader, and your activity of being a follower. It's the best advice I can give on the subject. Take care, and I will be back tomorrow with another episode.